Match fixing at the major, heroic making roster moves, Faze building an academy team, playoff Pickems predictions, and other exciting news from the world of CS2. You're watching CS2 News Hub, let's get straight to it. And I think we shall kick off today's video with the fact that Heroic finally started making roster changes. The org had already announced that SunPayus and SaW would be joining G2 even before the major began, and there were already rumors about their replacements. Grix as the new Opper and Tobiz stepping in as a head coach. Honestly, these moves looked pretty promising. Grix has already drawn attention from Fury and Game Religion previously, and Tobiz had experience coaching mouz's academy team. So it all seemed to be falling into place, until a new rumor hit. xFlout might be leaving the team. Wait, what? Why would you bench one of your best players? And if you did, who could possibly replace him? Turns out, the rumors about the Turkish player were true. He was moved to the bench. What makes this even crazier is that xFlout himself didn't see it coming. According to him, the decision was a surprise not just to the fans, but to himself personally. He thanked Heroic for giving him the opportunity to play at such a high level, but made it clear he was hoping the journey would continue. xFlout also added that he doesn't understand the reason behind the benching. He feels like this season he hit his peak multiple times and helped the team reach solid results. And, you know, he's not wrong. Over the past 3 months, xFlout held a consistent 1.18 rating with 91 firepower. So who's gonna replace the Turkish rifler? Well, considering Heroic made around $10 million this year, they definitely have the budget to bring in a top player. Maybe they will take a look at Perfecto or Bemus, both are still free agents, or maybe someone else. But for now, according to rumors, Heroic seem to be eyeing Nilo, who's been benched for nearly half a year. And you know what, guys? The more we hear, the more confusing the decisions sound. As for the real reason behind it, Heroic still haven't said a word. Speaking of xFlout, let's not forget his former team, Sangal. Back then, he played alongside LNZ, Youngstar, and Jota. Turns out Sangal also have an academy squad, and they recently played in a tournament featuring a 16-year-old rookie, Radix. It was his first ever match on HLTV, and clearly the nerves got to him, especially since they were up against Eternal Fire. On the first map, he didn't get a single kill, which instantly made his debut one of the roughest we've ever seen. But to be fair, he bounced back hard in the next map and dropped 22 frags, though it still wasn't enough to win the match. Either way, we hope that this rocky start didn't shake his confidence too much, and that he will get a real shot to show what he's made of really soon. Hey guys, before we jump to the next news, let me just take a minute to tell you about our friends at ForceDrop. They're one of the oldest and most trusted case opening websites out there. These guys have been in the game for over 9 years. Whether you're into free cases, super cheap ones, or rare and risky drops, they've got it all. There are also tons of game modes to check out, battles, contracts, and my personal favorite, Upgrade, where you can turn a basic skin into a knife. They also run constant giveaways for those who deposit, with some seriously juicy prizes up for grabs. Plenty of deposit options too, including crypto. And if you use crypto, you will get an extra 3% bonus. And here's the best part, we've got an exclusive promo code for you, News Hub. Enter it on the site or just click the link in the pinned comment, and you will get a 40% bonus to your deposit, top tier drops, and instant cash outs. That's what ForceDrop is about. Check it out and see for yourself. Faze might be getting into the academy scene. Rumors are swirling that the org is interested in signing a youth roster and has already started testing players. Funnily enough, the first talks about a Faze academy popped up way back in 2017. At the time, 8 years ago, the lineup was supposed to include names like Frozen, Brawl, and Stav, and Zaivu, and Sergey. Yeah, seriously. But due to huge financial issues, the whole project was scrapped. Right now, it's too early to say who might actually join, or whether Faze will fully commit to the idea. Still, my friends, it would be awesome if one day when Kerrigan hangs up the mouse, he just steps in to coach the academy squad. Now, that would be a full circle moment. Speaking of Faze clan, s1MPLE recently said in an interview that if the org offers him a full contract, he'd most likely take it. According to Sasha, the main goal of this year is to find a permanent team. Right now, Faze have s1MPLE on loan and are paying Navi for it, but given how well the team's been performing performing with him, the way he's been talking about his new teammates also, it really feels like he doesn't want to leave. Even Elish, who previously had some beef with s1MPLE, is now saying that the team communication has gone way better. So yeah, at this point, Faze should seriously consider locking s1MPLE in as a full-time player. What do you guys think about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And while some orgs are going to expand, others are just living out their last days. So recently, Richard Lewis released an investigation into the financial problems of Astralis. According to the journalist, last year the org's loss was around $5 million, and the reason for this was poor results, obviously, and also Valve. Wait, but what did Gaben do to kill Astralis? Well, basically cancelled the franchise leagues, which were Astralis's best sources of income, even in the case of poor performances. So now the team almost never appears at tournaments, and investors do not see sufficient potential in them, trying to withdraw money from the project. Also, at the moment, to keep up, the team is trying to sell part or all of the company's shares and assets in the coming month to basically attract capital. In addition, without new investments or a merger, for example, the organization is facing bankruptcy. This was also confirmed by Overdrive, so my friends, if him and Richard Lewis say so, something's definitely brewing. But still, you know what? Despite the whole situation, Astralis announced the signing of Hooxi, who officially became the 5th player in the team. As Hooxi said, playing for Astralis was his long-time dream, and now he's going to do a lot of work and improve the results they showed in Astana. Guys, your takes on this? I have no idea, to be honest. Maybe this whole Hooxi thing is just to distract attention? Who knows? Speaking of franchise leagues and large tournaments, Blast just inked a multi-year deal with Gaming Malta, aimed at developing esports on the island, with the goal of turning Malta into a global hub for competitive gaming. Over the next 3 years, Malta will host 9 huge tournaments across Dota and CS2. And that's not all. Blast also plans to open a brand new studio there, over 1,000 square meters in size, which will serve as the main venue for the events. And the first tournament to kick off the new partnership will be Blast Bounty Season 2. But despite all that, Blast has already managed to upset some fans, because they basically banned any devices larger than a smartphone from being brought into the major venue. So yeah, no more Steam Decks or laptops for open case enjoyers. People connect this rule to the rule of Texas as a state. In Texas, all gambling, including case openings, are banned. So my guess is that they are just avoiding some troubles. But the poster rules are also getting stricter. From now on, they will have to follow specific size limits and go through security checks before being allowed in. And on top of that, all flags are now banned too, even those carried by the players themselves. You know what, guys? Turns out the laptop ban was the least of the problems, because one of the popular Eastern European streamers, Inkmate, claims that some of the matches at the major were rigged, and he states that he knows exactly which ones. Inkmate says he's personally familiar with the people behind the whole setup. Rumors have been floating around since 2020 that throwing a match at the biggest event of the season could earn players up to $20,000 each. Is it true? Hard to say. It's possible that he said this in the heat of a moment, especially considering that he'd lost around $200,000 throughout the first 3 stages of the major. I mean, there have been whispers in the past about match-fixing offers at majors, but players have always turned them down. As for what really went down in Austin, nobody knows. But if anything happens, you'll be the first to hear about it. And now, since we're talking about the major, we can't skip Pickems. Yeah, they still exist. Moreover, some people haven't totally given up yet. Austin, for example, believes that Faze will win the major after a tough grand final against Vitality. On the way, he's got them beating Furia and themongolz. A similar prediction came from the Kazakh CS legend mouz, though he's picking Vitality to take the trophy in the end. Although another popular scenario is that Team Spirit will win it all. Pimp thinks so, but also Overdrive. Although, who could have guessed? I remind you, he's basically a Spirit's staff. But the wildest Pickem has to be from Nikodas, because the Danish Opper thinks the Mongols will win the major. And hey, considering he predicted his own team to get eliminated 0-3 in stage 2, maybe he knows something we don't. So the most hyped and popular final will be, without a doubt, Faze versus Vitality. Thorin says it would pull the biggest viewership numbers by far. And as Faze's former coach and and current desk analyst Yank believes, it would not be only a spectacle but also the toughest challenge for Vitality. Now, if we break things down by team, everyone's got something going. Furia has massive LAN win rate improvement. After benching Skulls and Cello, they've gone from 36% win rate to 61% in the international lineup. And hey, they've reached the major playoffs for the first time in 3 years. That alone is a big win. Pain haven't disappointed their fans either. For example, the 18-year-old Snow now has to play an elimination match against his idol, Fallen. None of the current Pain players have ever made it this far at a major, and the vibes are clearly good. Also, Biguzera just extended his contract. He's been with Pain since 2019. Faze Clan is the team that everyone wants to see in the grand finals, just for the sake of the story. They've brought new life into the roster, and s1mple looks like he's entering the second prime. The squad's feeling confident, hungry, and more united than ever. Sure, some say their bracket is a bit easier than Spirits or Vitality's, but Kerrigan's not buying it. He says that there are no easy paths at a major. And speaking of s1mple, right now he's the best player in clutch time rounds. That was after 9-9 and all overtimes. He's got 1.73 rating when it matters, beating Zaivu by 0.40. That's huge. The Mongols are not far behind. Senza recently broke a record with 56 frags against G2, and Blitz is statistically the best IGL from stage 3 of the major. I mean, they have the fear of the arena, but I guess they can manage. For Navi though, it's kinda tough to sum up. Even the players themselves admit that they're partial underdogs at the time. But it's black and white here, because for example, Wonderful's been the best for them in high pressure rounds. Meanwhile, Alexibi managed to get just one frag across all the entire train when they were playing against Team Spirit. Vitality are the obvious main title favorites. Yeah, they took a hit from Legacy at the start of stage 3, they lost their win streak, but they also bounced back fast and proved that it was just a blip. Robs has been doing some insane things with this lineup, and honestly, their honeymoon phase is not over. By the way guys, if you haven't seen our video about Robs, I suggest you go check it out right now. And we've got 2 teams left. For Spirit, it's kinda simple. They had 3-0 in groups, and Donk is looking sharp, even though he really struggles playing NA pubs. And the rest of the squad is just locked in. That match against Navi says it all. I guess they could be called the second title contenders. And the last, but not the least, are mouz. Rough started at stage 3, dropped 2 matches right away, and nearly got eliminated, but just like a phoenix, they rose from the ashes, and now they're ready to fight. Surely not everything at the Blastosen Major went without criticism. Thorin once again said that he dreams of seeing a major where playoffs don't just last 4 days, but actually take up like half of the tournament. He says that something like that would make the whole thing feel way more exciting to follow. But Yank was quick to shut it down. He reminded everyone that Valve made it crystal clear, the tournament format is not changing, basically because they don't want the early stages to drag on even longer. The current system with best of ones and a drawn-out group stage is designed to save time for everyone involved. So yeah, Valve just know what they do, right? And that's all for today, my friends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, to follow the channel, and drop by in the comments below because it helps us develop a lot. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.